Bonsoir. We'll need French today. Yes.
Indeed, indeed. How you doing, Shama?
I'm doing well. Long week. I just got back from New York to Dubai and adjusting to the time difference. I had to take a nap before this because it's 10 p.m. here in Dubai. I liked it better when it was at 1 p.m. in New
Yeah, right.
York.
It's more your speed, but regardless, it's been an exciting week. I think for all of us. You with your travels, of course, exciting in bad ways and in good ways. What happened in the UAE is, of course, very tragic, and you landed right as probably all that drama was unfolding.
Indeed, same day.
Same day. But
Yep.
even with the bad drama, we also had some good things. We celebrated I think, I don't know if it's the first time, but certainly one of the first times that we did joint celebrations of the Jewish holiday of Tu B'Shvat, together with the general appreciation and respect for the environment and for tree planting that you have in the Abraham Accords countries. And so we held a Tu B'Shvat and tree planting in the UAE, in Bahrain, in Israel, and hopefully within the coming days also in Morocco.
Yes. It's unfolding in Morocco as we speak. And I just want to tell our audience that they can go on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram to see the pictures from the Tu B'Shvat celebrations.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, if those of you who are joining us across all of our social media platforms, we welcome you to the third installment, well, the second installment, I guess, the second deep dive, third installment of the Sharaka Morocco Israel Collaboration Hub online series that we are doing in partnership with Shama Mijtali, Moroccan, Dubaian, American,
Everything.
everything,
Everything.
artist, entrepreneur, intellectual extraordinaire, and all the other nice words that we can throw in.
Thank you, Dan. And we're really excited to talk about the topic of today. We are going to be focusing on technology and agriculture and the intersections of both. And we have some amazing speakers and some really powerful women that are joining us today. So, really
We
exciting.
we do indeed, and it is exciting. For those of you who are new and hearing about Sharaka for the first time, of course, for those who don't speak Arabic, it means partnership. And we are an organization formed by young leaders from the Gulf, from Israel, and from Morocco, from the Abraham Accords countries, and actually people from all over the Middle East and even beyond to celebrate the peace, to advance warm peace between the peoples of the countries, so that the wonderful agreement signed by our leaderships doesn't just stay between them. Rather, we're extending it, trying to extend it to the peoples, and so that everyone can really enjoy and benefit from these newfound relationships. And what we're doing here is, in essence, kicking off Sharaka's entrance as Morocco and Israel celebrate a year to the signing of ties, and ahead of as soon as COVID allows, ahead of the very first upcoming Sharaka delegation of influencers from culture and arts and business and science and academia and media to Morocco. And so we are doing this fantastic series of speaker events. And this one, as Shama mentioned, will focus on technology, agriculture, and agro-tech. And so we have a great series of speakers with us tonight. And of course, all of this is intended to increase the peaceful ties, the warm ties, the stability between the countries, and when we're talking about business, of course, the prosperity of the peoples of both countries. Next week, make sure you join us, same time, same station, all of Sharaka's social media accounts, as we do part 3 of the deep dive events, where we look at culture and arts and the possibility for collaboration. Of course, if you have ideas for speakers, if you want to join the speakers, if you want to contact us, you can find us on all our social media accounts and on our website. And of course, you can contact Shama. How can people reach out to you?
You guys can find me by Gmail. So just type Shama Mishtali, first and last name, at gmail.com, or on Instagram at millennialmoore, or on Facebook, first and last name, and Twitter, C Mishtali. And I just want to remind everyone that, as Dan said, the purpose of these cooperation series is to kind of lay the groundwork for better and more economic interdependence, and to really create more job opportunities and make sure that these peace accords are translating to real prosperity and stability and economic opportunity between societies in the region. And I want to tell people that our next event is going to focus on culture and the arts, and it'll take place next Thursday, January 27th, at the same time. And
Absolutely.
with that, I would like to proceed to introduce one of my favorite women on the planet, um, Mayor Tal Ohana. And Mayor Tal Ohana is the first women mayor of Yerucham. She is a proud Amazigh and a fourth-generation Moroccan Israeli. She is famously known in Israel as the mayor who beat COVID. Since the outbreak of the pandemic in 2020, she's been at the forefront of the fight, leading with determination and compassion, and succeeding in curbing infection rates by personally seeing to her residents' needs. As the mayor of Yerucham, she has been championing a developmental revolution focusing on bringing pharmaceuticals, engineering, tech, and medical cannabis companies to her city. In June, she launched Israel's first cannabis ecosystem, Kanegev, as a joint effort between Perigo, Our Crowd, and BOL Pharma. And our viewers will probably remember that we had the CEO of Our Crowd with us last week. Yerucham will also be building 2 cannabis factories in the coming year. Mayor Ohana also helped create a women's entrepreneurship hub called SheWork and a cannabis innovation hub offering financial support and other resources for startups and new entrepreneurs. At age 24, Mayor Ohana visited Morocco for the first time and went to the Amazigh villages where her grandparents came from. Since then, she has been to Morocco, wait for it, 35 times. Tal, thank you for joining us for today's discussion. First, how does it feel? First, how does it feel to witness and be part of this moment in history where Moroccans and Israelis are working together towards more sustainable development, peace, and prosperity?
So thank you so much. I'm very excited to speak with you today. Although the COVID situation, when we are very, very busy trying to save lives, it's a huge honor for me to speak today. So for me, I remember very well that day and the place I was when the Israel channel announced about the agreement, the final agreement, Abraham Accords between Morocco and Israel. I was so excited. It was exactly the same day, and I called my staff and I said, we must celebrate it. And in 2 hours maximum, we take all the main road signs and put the king pictures and the Morocco flag. And in the morning after, we celebrated this amazing event with the chief rabbi of my town and with the people who were born and raised in Morocco. And we blessed the king and we blessed the Moroccan people for that. So yes, I was very excited at this day. I must say that I really feel it's my first country, although I've born and raised in Israel. All my family from both sides grew up in Morocco for many generations. They have a very good lives, but they choose to come to Israel because the love of Zion, because this is the Bible statement to come and to settle in the Israel land. But since then, all of us are coming back uh, almost every year. For me, it was few times a year. And for me, my big next dream is to be the Israel ambassador in Morocco one day after I will finish my politic mission as a mayor and maybe in the government. So as I mentioned, I'm very excited. I feel that it's the time for us to give back after many years, many years. We have been lived in Morocco safely and healthy and with a prosperity. Now we are strong enough to give back to our first country in different areas. So I cannot wait to share knowledge, skills, and all what we can in order to empower this amazing homeland. So I wish to do that very soon.
Thank you so much, Tal, and really thank you for joining us today. You have been a champion since you took office in Yerucham, and I really want to ask you if you could walk us through some of your best practices for getting different stakeholders to invest in peripheral communities. And what would you want the Moroccan Israeli partnership to bring to Yerucham?
So it's a big challenge to bring technology and private investment to a far small peripheral town. But we can do that. How? We must take responsible for this mission. We cannot wait to the government to do that, or that the mayor or the market failure will stop. How do I do that for the past 3 years? I'm trying to recognize lack of national infrastructures and to bring the private sector to say, okay, it's a good place to create this infrastructure, and only then to go to the government and say, okay, we can make a partnership, PPP, private public partnership, in order to give economic value for the infrastructure, no matter if it's a vaccine or drones or satellites. We have different example. So we are in the, let's say we're not in the beginning of the way, but we have a lot of to do, more to do. I'm wishing to create a partnership to share, as I mentioned, the challenges and the solutions. So we are looking for a city partnership, maybe in the south, in the desert, like us, in Agri Tech, in pharma, in drones, and also in satellites, as I mentioned. So I invite everyone here to send me a message in LinkedIn or in Facebook if we can share this knowledge and also partner together in order to bring prosperity to each community, no matter what the geographic situation, the geographic and the socioeconomic socioeconomic situation of it.
Thank you so much, Tal. And you have the spirit of an Amazigh warrior queen, which brings me to my last question. Because I've gotten to know you deeply, I know that your personal dream is to build a center for Amazigh culture in Israel. Can you tell our audience why that's important to you, and maybe use this opportunity to call for support for that kind of project to come to fruition?
So the situation is that there is no Amazigh Jews museum all over the world. There are many different museums for the Moroccan Jews, but not for the Berber one. As a 100% Berber Jew, I felt committed to this mission. So yes, we are doing our first step in order to reach that goal. We are looking for partners for sure, for knowledge, for art, for the architect process. And I wish I can host most of you in few years just in our Berber, Jewish Berber museum, the first one in the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can't endorse that statement more because it's absolutely necessary. And unfortunately, we have a lot of people, even within Israel, who are not conscious of this Amazigh component and why it matters to a lot of people. Thank you so
Indeed,
much.
I'm learning about it
Yeah.
the past 2 months, every single
Yes.
time, and it's been fascinating.
And we spoke about it last time in our discussion last week because it was Amazigh New Year. So happy Nayar Tal, happy Amazigh New Year. It's good to have you with us. Thank you so much. It was an honor. And with that,
Thank you so much, Mayor.
we'll move on to Dan so you can introduce our topic today and our first panelist.
So is Jalal with us in the end, or what?
Jalal is unable to join. Yes.
So as most of the listeners anywhere in the world can sympathize, due to COVID and due to other issues, we had a last
Indeed.
second cancellation.
He does send his apologies and regrets and says that he will make sure to be with us next time, no matter what, rain or shine.
Fantastic. So we are thrilled and glad to have with us now Inbal Arieli. If we want to pull her up on the screen. Oh, there she is. Very nice to see you, Inbal.
Hi, how are you?
Inbal, over the last year, just for the listeners to know, has become one of my most favorite people in all of Israel. We've done multiple speaking events together. She's been on my podcast, of course. We brought a group of Bahraini influencers that we brought to Israel to meet her. And hopefully she'll also be joining us on the Morocco delegation that we talked about. So for those of you who don't yet know Inbal Arieli, she's an entrepreneur, speaker, and author of the book Chutzpah, Why Israel is a Hub of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Inbal has been recognized as one of the 100 most influential people in Israeli tech, one of the top 100 female speakers in the tech industry in the world, and one of the most influential Israelis of 2019. She's currently the co-CEO of Synthesis, a word I have a hard time pronouncing every single time, a leadership assessment and development company whose products and services are jointly developed by veteran experts in the Israel Defense Forces, executive coaches, and one of the most foremost talent search companies in the world. Arieli also serves as a board member and senior advisor to various organizations such as Startup Nation Central, WISE, Scola, the Startup Comprehensive Learning, and the 8200 Entrepreneurship and Innovation Support Program. Inbal, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Sure, Dan. It's my pleasure. I'm very happy to be here with you.
So I've heard you speak about Israel's tech scene more than a few times, and you certainly do it incredibly well. We'd be really glad for our audience in Morocco, across North Africa and the Middle East, and of course, anyone who's listening. Can you give us kind of a brief overview of Israel's tech scene, and then tied into your book, which I recommend, if people have not ordered it yet, we recommend people do. Is it in Arabic, by the way?
Ooh, it's my dream. It's my
It's
dream,
your
and
dream.
actually, I'm traveling to the Emirates in a month to discuss the rights in Arabic.
Fantastic. I'm sure it exists in French.
Not yet.
Okay, so we have two things to work on for our new friends in Morocco. And so maybe you can tie in, give us an overview of Israel's tech scene and why you think we have such a burgeoning, a growing, blooming tech scene here in Israel.
Sure. So I'll do that in a second. But before that, I just want to say that I actually visited Morocco 2 months ago. And I do want us to get back to that point. It was as part of
And we will.
tech speaking, and I came back to Israel wanting to go back to Morocco. So I'm very happy to be here, and I greet and send my warmest regards to all my friends in Morocco that I already have and those that I will in the future. Now, when we're talking about the Israeli tech ecosystem, we're talking about an ecosystem that has developed over the course of the past, let's say, 4 decades. So about 3-4 decades ago, there wasn't a lot of tech innovation in Israel. And the innovation that existed here was out of necessity, actually out of domestic needs of the Israeli economy, the lack of natural resources back then, and other needs that we had, which actually drove us as a country with limited resources to create solutions and use technology for these solutions. Nowadays, in 2022, the situation is completely different. And let me give you some statistics. So the first thing to mention is that Israel has the highest density of startups in the world. We're speaking about roughly 6,000 startups on a population of 9 million plus people. So about one startup for every 1,400 people. And that means that there is a lot of bubbling, okay, bottom-top activity, business, entrepreneurial activity around technology. So that's one element, the startup activity and the fact that Israelis like to start new ventures. Now, when you add that to another component, and that is that Israel is ranked relatively high as an innovative country, one which creates a lot of innovation in a variety of industries, in a variety of verticals, in ag tech, agriculture technology, in financial technologies, in cyber technology, but also in retail technology, in automotive, robotics, software. I mean, any industry that you think about, you'll find Israeli innovation there. And so the idea of having very strong startups or a startup activity coupled with deep innovation together is a force multiplier. And the Israeli startups that are actually coming out are bringing this technology and this innovation to the world. In addition to that, Israel of 2022 is also ranked as the country that attracts per capita the highest number of venture funding. So it attracts a lot of foreign investment coming into the country and actually providing fuel, energy, oxygen to these startups. The reason these foreign investors are looking into the Israeli tech ecosystem is because of its success, because of the talent that exists here, because of the innovation that is coming out of Israel, but also because of the fact that it is addressing global needs. It does not solve domestic issues, but actually is addressing global needs, global markets on large scales. And hence, for the foreign investors, it makes sense to invest in these solutions. So you have, again, a lot of startup activity. You have a lot of innovation, technological innovation. We now have enough funding interested in these solutions and coming into the country. And the result of all of that is a very rich, very mature, successful tech ecosystem that is one of the global leading hubs of entrepreneurship and innovation in the world.
It's such an incredible scene, and I think I shortchanged people on my promise when I said you explain it better than anyone. You mentioned you just got back from Morocco. You took your own private trip there, and hopefully we'll get you back there as soon as COVID allows. Be glad to get, what are your impressions of what I've understood is kind of a growing scene, a growing tech scene, a growing entrepreneur scene in Morocco, and where do you think are the best areas for collaboration that can be between Israeli entrepreneurs and entrepreneur mentors such as yourself, and what we're seeing in Morocco with our new partners there?
So actually, it was not a private visit. I was actually invited, and I want to give full credit here. It's very important for me, to a very special woman who was very brave in also in approaching me, but in insisting on bringing back in November the first Israeli tech speaker on a main stage in Morocco. And I know it was not completely easy for her. So I want to give her credit. It's Hanan Aisa from Foundation Startup Grow, who is also advocating and incentivizing young entrepreneurs in tech, male and female, in Morocco. She partnered together with Startup Grind, which is a global foundation of start network of communities around the world that are actually also advocating for startups. And they actually brought me to this Global Women Conference in Morocco, where I had, again, the privilege on stage to meet fascinating colleagues from Morocco, to hear more about what's happening there, and of course to share my experience from the Israeli ecosystem. In addition, we also visited the Techno Park in Casablanca, led by another incredible woman, and met with different stakeholders, entrepreneurs, investors, some coders and professionals, programmers, and community managers. So the whole different elements of the ecosystem in Casablanca. And for me, it was very moving to see actually both the stage at which there are already very interesting startups coming out of Morocco. We met startups in digital healthcare, in satellites. The first Moroccan startup to deal with the satellite and space tech, and a variety of other initiatives. So the first impression was, maybe the most important part, was of the people I met. And for me, as an entrepreneur, as an investor, that's always the first thing I look at, because there's a lot of innovation happening in many places around the world. But what's special is to find the right connection between people. Eventually, it's all about people connecting with people, also in tech. So that was the first and foremost, the most important, for me, the most important element that I felt really at home in Morocco. The second thing, I think, was to see the variety and of industries, of interests, and the thirst that exists within the tech ecosystem in Morocco on making very rapid progress. And I'll say even much more rapid than the one we did in Israel. If we did it, what we did in Israel in 40 years, I think Morocco's tech ecosystem could do in a shorter time frame. And the third element is really, how can we connect our ecosystem here in Israel and the experience and the know-how and the skills that have developed here in Israel over the course of the past decades with a younger ecosystem as the one that exists in Morocco. In some industries in specific, and I think agriculture is a great example for that. So really connecting the ties in ag tech, where the synergies are clear, but also on a broader perspective. There are so many things and elements that can really connect. We're relatively close. We're relatively similar in so many things. And I think there is so much room for connectivity and a potential for collaboration.
Thank you so much, Inbal. That was amazing and very to the point and really inspiring for a lot of the young entrepreneurs in Morocco, and who are really kind of championing the movement that you were talking about. And about that, I just want to mention to our audience and our guests that there is a new brand called Morocco Tech that was just launched earlier this week by the Minister of Digital Transformation, who is another fabulous, powerful woman. And if you just go on moroccotech.org, you'll actually see a lot of details about this initiative and how you can be involved, how you can invest, how you can even set up your company abroad in Morocco, and the industries that it's sort of supporting and promoting. So fintech, agri-tech, governmental tech, and health tech are sort of the four pillars of this new brand. But you've nailed it. Thank you so much for highlighting the potential that you saw. I think a lot of Moroccan youth are very proud and very capable, and they just want to see other countries and partners fully see their potential and their capacity. We are a country with a long history and a long history of creativity and innovation. There's no reason why we shouldn't be sort of bringing that innovation back to our ecosystem. So thank you so much for joining us. That was really incredible.
Thank you so much, Inbal, as always.
And we look forward to welcoming you again to Morocco.
I'm definitely planning on coming back soon.
Amazing. Amazing. We'll be in touch. And with that, I will introduce our next fabulous woman, who is a professor. Our next guest is Nadia Mishkor, a professor of renewable energy, complex system engineering, power electronics, and electrical engineering at both Hassan II University in Casablanca and the UM6P Polytechnic University in Ben Gurion. Nadia also taught for 3 years in Maryland's National Institute of Standards and Technology. She has a PhD in electrical engineering from Blaise Pascal University of Clermont-Ferrand in France. Nadia will actually walk us through a presentation that she did for us, focusing on how tech and innovation could be leveraged for the sector of agriculture. Nadia, thank you so much for joining us. It's good to see you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be a part of this meeting, and I'm very honored to present or to give a talk about innovation and technology in agriculture. So let me just share my presentation. I don't know how to do that.
So there should be a little kind of square
This
button,
one.
square
No?
laptop button. Yes, in the middle with, it should be crossed with a red line.
Yes.
And
Okay.
beautiful. And meanwhile, I just want to remind our viewers that they can find Sharaka on Twitter and Facebook, on Sharaka NGO. They can also find Sharaka on Instagram, and you can find me on all of the platforms as Shama Mistali and Instagram on Millennial More. So I see that we have the presentation. Beautiful.
Okay. Thank
So the
you.
floor. Thank you, Nadia.
So my name is Mashkour Nadia. I am full professor at Hassan II University in Casablanca, and also in the Mohammed VI Polytechnic University of Ben Gurion. My experience teaching is covers two fields: electrical engineering and complex system engineering. And for my experience in the research field, I worked in different projects. Firstly, I was a guest researcher in the National Institute of Standard and Technology of Maryland in the United States, where I spent 2 years. And the project was about to develop a new method to measure free-form optical surface for satellites. For my PhD, I worked in the modeling of the braking device. I took my PhD from Blaise Pascal University of Clermont-Ferrand in France. Now I'm working in a project about renewable energy with École Centrale of Nantes of France. And also I am working in a project with the UMCSP University and the OCP, Office Chérifienne de Phosphate. It is about integrated control system of the Ben Gurion mine. The purpose of my presentation is to answer the following two questions. How new technologies can be used to better serve agriculture? And what are the innovations that can be provide answers to climate change? For the first question, precision agriculture aims to make farming more precise and controlled in terms of cultivation and livestock. A key element of this optimized agriculture management approach is the use of information technology as artificial intelligence, big data, data mining, and a wide range of tools such as GPS guidance, control system, sensors, robotics, drones, autonomous vehicle. So here I'm going to give some examples of tools and implementation using new agricultural technology. Among of this example, we can find the drones. Drones are a good cartographic tools for the collection of data, which can be used to optimize and improve the production of the agriculture. For example, we can use the drone for assessment of the surface of the tree leaves, so that can help to detect the diseases early. We can also use the image captured by the drone, for example, to know the places of the farm that require fertilizer, for example. So this can help us to optimize the use of the fertilizer and also the biocides. Another example is to use the autonomous robots. The use of this machine is very helpful to reduce the burden of the farmer's work, to optimize also of seed selection. For example, if we can use, for example, if the robots is equipped with sensor, it can distinguish weeds from crops and apply with accuracy the herbicide. And also we can use it to use the selection of the seed selection with with accuracy and also with optimization. Another example is to use the connected sensors. They are very essential technological solution for real-time data collection. With this technology, the producer have at their disposal practical tools for direct or efficient management of their farm. For example, we can use sensor to measure soil and air temperature, moisture, and precipitation. This can help us to reduce the irrigation. We can use also the connected sensor to monitor livestock health and increase their the productivity. So the second question is, what are the innovations that can provide answer to climate change? So as mentioned earlier, the use of technology can optimize the use of herbicide and chemicals, which has a positive impact on the environment. The second answer is to use for example, the waste which we can have from animal or agricultural products to produce the biogas, which we name this process methanization. We can also use the renewable energy sources for the irrigation system or also for electrical vehicle. So many fields into innovation agriculture can be developed. For example, in renewable energy, such development of multi-source system using photovoltaic, biomass or wind power. This will allow a standalone system to fit isolated area. For example, this field can be also developed. Other term can be developed is to develop smart sensors for property soil detection to optimize the use of the fertilizing and the irrigation. Other area is to develop a system for real-time monitoring to help to take the good decision in opportune moments. So we can imagine a system with the performance indicators, including, for example, data on weather, soil quality, and the state of agriculture. Other field is artificial and intelligence algorithm and databases, which are the basis of precision agriculture. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Nadia. That was super informative. For me personally, who doesn't understand much about agri-tech, so I wanted to ask you a quick question before we move on, which is you mentioned there are themes to be developed. So when you talk about renewable energy, and I know Morocco is leading sort of the climate change fight and renewable energy sectors, and so what do you think specifically could be developed insofar as renewable energy industries and sectors go?
I didn't hear your question because I think I have
No
some.
worries. So you mentioned that one of the things that needs further development in Morocco is the renewable energy sector. How do you see that development going forward, and what do we need from global partners to make that kind of development a reality? Just very quickly, because I know this is your field of expertise.
So we can use, as I said, for example, the production, for example, of the biomass or the biogas using animal waste or products, agriculture products. We can develop, for example, photovoltaic and multi-source system for feeding in electricity the isolated, for example, area. So we can also develop some smart grid to optimize the use of electricity or energy.
Beautiful. Sounds good.
And it
yes.
seems like there's definitely a lot of areas for collaboration. So we thank you, Professor, for mapping those out very comprehensive for us and for joining us tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Nadia. We appreciate you joining us.
So with this, we'll use the professor's fantastic explanation. And we mentioned it was the Jewish holiday of Tu B'Shvat. For those of you who are unaware, that's one of the Jewish New Years. It's the Jewish New Year for the trees. And over in modern times, it has become an environmental holiday. And of course, that works very well with half of our theme tonight, which is agriculture and agro-tech. And so we are in the intersection between them. And so we're very pleased to present our next speaker, Moshe Kedem. Moshe, are you with us tonight? Hi, sir. How are you? Oh, we lost you. There you are.
You scared him for a second, Dan. Hi,
So,
Moshe.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. Moshe was born in Paris and has been living in Israel for the last 25 years. He's the CEO of Agri, which specializes in water management and saffron cultivation. And he's worked across Morocco, France, Cote d'Ivoire, and other African countries, bridging the gaps between new tech agriculture relying on research and data collection. Moshe will be speaking to us tonight in French. and Shama will kindly translate for him. So Moshe, would you please offer the viewers, especially our Moroccan viewers tonight, maybe an overview of Israel's agriculture and agro-tech scene?
D'accord. Alors tout d'abord, pour parler de l'agriculture israélienne, il faut la mettre dans son contexte. Israël, c'est un tout petit pays. Donc on est obligé d'adapter l'agriculture aux surfaces qu'on peut cultiver. Donc ce que l'on va rechercher en Israël, ce ne sont pas l'agriculture intensive, mais surtout l'agriculture à haute valeur ajoutée.
So I'm going to go ahead and translate that for people who don't speak French. So in order to answer that question, Moshe says we have to contextualize it. First of all, Israel is a small country. So when we talk about agriculture, we're talking about very small plots of land that should be optimized to generate maximum value and returns.
Par exemple, en Israël, les cultures de blé, de soja, de maïs, de riz, toutes ces cultures qui sont des cultures extensives, on les fait vraiment à très petite échelle.
So, for example, cultivating wheat, corn, soja, which requires a lot of work, they are done in very sort of small doses across the country.
On va donc se spécialiser sur des cultures à haute valeur ajoutée, comme les légumes, comme les fruits exotiques, ou faire de la contre-saison. C'est-à-dire proposer des fruits et légumes sur le marché en dehors des saisons traditionnelles.
So Israeli agriculture then mainly focuses on producing vegetables and fruits or produce that's off-season. So really kind of proposing in the market off-season produce as a sort of a competitive advantage, I'm assuming.
Donc l'objectif pour arriver à cette agriculture, on va avoir besoin justement du high-tech. Le high-tech va nous permettre d'avoir un contrôle sur toute la chaîne de la fabrication agricole, c'est-à-dire de la graine jusqu'au produit final, c'est-à-dire aux fruits.
Which means we need high tech to kind of come into the agricultural space across all phases of the production chain of our agricultural produce.
Donc, ce qui va être très important au début, et on a compris ça en Israël depuis plusieurs années, il y a deux choses essentielles au niveau de l'agriculture, la qualité de la semence et le contrôle du système d'irrigation.
So what they understood early on in Israel is that they have to kind of look at two things. First, the quality of the soil and the fertilizers, and sort of the irrigation system that ensures good production.
Les graines sont aussi très importantes. Pour vous donner un exemple au niveau de l'irrigation, le système goutte à goutte a été inventé en Israël dans les années déjà fin des années 1950. Donc ça fait déjà plus de 70 ans. Le but, c'est vraiment de pouvoir contrôler l'irrigation en fonction du besoin de chaque culture.
So I'm just going to translate that. Moshe mentioned that the drop irrigation invention was really created in the 50s in Israel, and the goal was to kind of control the production system as much as possible.
Le système goutte à goutte permet aussi de gérer tout ce qui est au niveau des intrants, au niveau des engrais. Et avec ce système goutte à goutte, on va pouvoir appliquer le high-tech et avoir justement le contrôle de l'irrigation du champ directement, par exemple, sur le smartphone.
Wow. So another interesting thing that he's sharing is that this drop irrigation was sort of able to be integrated into mobile applications so that it can be controlled through a smartphone. So making the work of a farmer much, much easier.
Donc, quand on reprend un petit peu ce que l'intervenante d'avant a dit au niveau des drones, au niveau des senseurs, au niveau de tous les systèmes de contrôle, alors on va pouvoir justement les jumeler avec les systèmes en place sur le terrain et avoir les retombées directement au niveau des téléphones portables.
Je suis désolée, Moshe, ça a coupé. Est-ce que vous pouvez répéter le dernier point?
Je disais, comme avait dit l'intervenant précédemment, qui a parlé des drones et des différents senseurs, justement, tous ces systèmes, on va pouvoir tous les coupler ensemble pour avoir un contrôle vraiment optimal de toute la phase de croissance des plantes.
So everything that Professor Nadia mentioned in terms of drones and other high-tech systems in Israel, all of these different systems will be integrated all at the same time to optimize production in agricultural spaces.
Moshe, given time is starting to run out here, I want to ask you, you have a lot of experience working across different African countries, in Morocco, in different desert or harsh climates also. What do you think, where are the areas that you think there is the most potential for collaborations and partnerships between Israeli agrotech companies and what you see in Morocco, the agriculture and agrotech scene that you see in Morocco?
Je pense que on a beaucoup de similitudes au niveau des climats entre le Maroc et l'Israël. Et c'est vrai que l'agriculture désertique, c'est quelque chose qui est très développé en Israël grâce à l'université Ben Gurion, par exemple, qui se trouve à Beersheba, où on va avoir vraiment...
I'm just going to translate that. So Moshe is saying that there are many similarities, especially in terms of climates between Israel and Morocco. And when it comes to Israel, you'll see that the desert tech sector is very, very developed, especially in the south, in the region of, in the city of Beersheba, which is a very Moroccan city.
Pour vous donner des exemples, on a de la pisciculture, ce qui fait partie de l'agriculture aussi, la culture de poissons, en plein désert.
So they're cultivating fish and like farming fish in the middle of a desert.
Et on va dire le miracle qui s'est produit dans le désert, c'est grâce à cette culture de poissons, on a réussi à coupler une culture de fraises et on s'est aperçu que l'un avec l'autre, ça apportait que des bienfaits en fin de compte.
Une culture de fraises, qu'on parle des fraises comme fruits ou c'est un terme maritime?
Des fraises comme fruits, oui, puisqu'on utilise les déchets des poissons comme engrais pour les fraises en fait.
Ah, wow, c'est intéressant. So Moshe is also saying that a miracle that came out of this sort of fish farming in the desert is that they were able to turn fish skin into fertilizers to grow strawberries in the desert, which is really quite incredible.
Qu'est-ce qu'on peut dire encore au niveau de l'agriculture? Donc le but, on va dire, ça va être à chaque fois l'avantage qu'on va avoir en Israël, c'est qu'on va pouvoir réunir toutes les solutions sous un même toit. Et
So
pour avoir un
advantage in Israel
projet qui soit...
they
Ah, pardon.
can no, yeah, pas de problème. So the advantage he's saying in Israel is that they can kind of bring all of these different know-hows and best practices and technologies together to optimize production.
That's thank you, Moshe. It's fascinating, and actually, my mind is blown that we can, first of all, grow fish in the desert, but also use all the different innovations to even do things with the fish skin and the fish scales. You're also working on a very cool project now with revitalizing saffron production in Israel. Do you want to just take 1 minute to tell us about this cool project you're working on? Because it seems to have maybe kind of a historical aspect to it also.
Au sujet du safran, c'est vrai que vous, les Marocains, c'est quelque chose que vous connaissez très très bien, qui fait partie, on va dire, quelque part de vos gènes aussi. Et l'histoire du safran, c'est une histoire qui remonte à il y a vraiment très très longtemps.
Exactement. So he's saying that for Moroccans, the story with saffron goes really deep, and Moroccans understand saffron very, very deeply. And traditionally, it has been produced a lot in the country. And he's saying that the story of saffron in the region in general kind of goes back a long time.
Dans la culture juive, la première fois dont on entend parler du safran, c'est avec Moshe Rabbeinu, le prophète Moussa.
In Jewish tradition, the first time we hear about saffron is through Moshe, the prophet.
Et il faut savoir que le safran était utilisé à l'époque du roi Salomon comme offrande au temple.
And saffron was used in the era of King Solomon as an offering.
Oh, fascinating. I didn't know that.
Donc, contrairement à ce que l'on pourrait penser et ce qui est convenu actuellement, Alexandre le Grand n'a pas ramené le safran d'Inde en Grèce, mais a amené le safran du Moyen-Orient dans le reste du monde.
So contrary to popular belief, Alexander the Great did not bring saffron from India to Greece, but actually from the Middle East to the rest of the world. Et peut-être que, Moshe, vous pourriez nous parler de cette revitalisation du safran et je ne sais pas si vous exportez le safran d'Israël au Maroc ou comment ça se passe.
Alors pour le safran, on a eu une phase, en fin de compte, là on est à la fin de la phase de recherche et développement. C'est un projet qui nous a pris 4 ans. On a amené des bulbes en Israël de plusieurs pays. On a fait des tests de plantation dans plusieurs endroits d'Israël, que ce soit le long de la côte, que ce soit dans les montagnes ou que ce soit en plein désert.
So they tried planting saffron across Israel in different places, and it took them 4 years of research to actually try this out.
Puisqu'on voulait arriver à une culture sans irrigation. C'était la clé en fin de compte du projet.
Because they wanted to get to saffron production without irrigation, which is really crazy and interesting. So I'm all ears. Je vous écoute.
Donc au bout de 4 ans, on a réussi à achever notre défi. On a une production de safran qui est encore relativement petite, puisque on n'est qu'au début. On est en train de préparer un projet, le safran de la paix, avec justement, au niveau des accords d'Abraham, on s'est aperçu que c'est vrai, on a Israël, on a le Maroc, on a les Émirats arabes unis, mais le peuple palestinien, on l'a un peu laissé de côté. Et l'objectif, en fait, de ce projet du safran de la paix, c'est d'introduire la culture du safran au niveau des agriculteurs palestiniens, en collaboration avec la Agri-Tech israélienne.
C'est top, c'est énorme. Merci beaucoup d'avoir mentionné ça. So Moshe is saying that they actually were up to the challenge and they were able to produce saffron without irrigation in Israel. It's at its sort of beginning stages, so the production is small right now, but because of the Abraham Accords and the new peace deals, they actually called the saffron, which is also miraculous. They're calling it the Saffron of Peace. And they noticed that the Abraham Accords have been sort of catering to the needs of Moroccans and Emiratis, but Palestinians haven't been so much as part of the conversation. But with the Saffron of Peace, their priority is to actually leverage Palestinian farmers and offer them jobs in growing and cultivating saffron, which they'll then export to other places.
That's fantastic initiative, Moshe. Très bien, très magnifique, and thank you so much for speaking to us tonight. And actually, I'd be glad to come visit the saffron farm if we can get a
Me
chance.
too, Dan.
Shama, next time you're here, we're gonna go visit together.
I would love that. Moshe, c'était vraiment
If
un
Moshe
plaisir.
will have us, of course.
Vous êtes bienvenus. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Moshe. That was fascinating. Thank you so much. Shama, do you care to introduce our last speaker for tonight?
Absolutely. So our last speaker for tonight is Mohammed Hamimou, who's replacing Faisal Sahbawi, the CEO of Agri Edge, because unfortunately Faisal has COVID, and we wish him a very speedy recovery. Sorry about that, Faisal.
Indeed.
And Mohammed Hamimou is the head of data valorization at Agri Edge, an entrepreneurial business unit created by the OCP Group and incubated at Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, where Nadia teaches, actually, as a platform for all services related to precision agriculture. Agri Edge leverages data collected through sensors, satellite or drone images that gets evaluated through the use of algorithmic models and agronomic knowledge in order to give the best recommendations to farmers through mobile applications. Mohammed Hamimou, I don't understand any of that. So first, thank you so much for coming on board. And if you can explain to us how the use of technology and these new innovative approaches can be leveraged for farmers and to optimize agriculture in Morocco. We would love to hear about your expertise in this field.
It's my pleasure to be here with you. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, that's nice. So good evening all. Thank you so much, first of all, for the organization of this event and also for the invitation of AgriEdge. So in fact, I'm the head of data valorization within AgriEdge, which is a business unit, as mentioned, of Mohammed VI Polytechnic University. And if you allow me, I'm glad to share with you our experience and our activity at AgriEdge to serve Moroccan farmers and Moroccan agriculture, and also other initiatives that we are rolling out in order to promote for this agri-tech concept and how it could help farming to optimize the costs and also and also for better production, I can say. So let me just share my screen quickly.
You should have an icon in the middle, right under your screen, that looks like a laptop.
It's working now?
Yes, it does.
Beautiful. And I muted. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So let me just give you and the audience a brief story of AgriEdge. So AgriEdge raised up within the OCP or entrepreneurial program, which starts in 2016. And AgriEdge was one of the situations within this program that was launched by the CEO of the OCP group. After that, AgriEdge joined the Mohammed VI Polytechnic University in 2018. The objective of joining this wonderful university was for R&D purposes, because our activity relies on R&D in order to offer better services to our clients, of course. So with after joining the university, so we were and we are also always rolling out and leading applied R&D projects, and also developing farmer services. So if you want to mention or to point out the position or the current position of AgriEdge actually within the Mohammed VI Polytechnic University. So AgriEdge activity is doing the applied research and development, and with this applied research and development, so we are valorizing what is going on as fundamental R&D within Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, in order to transform those research projects and research results into services that can serve farmers and help them produce more with less resources. So currently, AgriEdge is or AgriEdge has a portfolio of services that are around or that are built around the major leverage of agriculture, which are the irrigation. So AgriEdge is serving farmers today with the AquaEdge, which is a service dedicated for precision irrigation to help farmers manage their irrigation reasonably. And also we have the fertilization service, which is called the FertiEdge, which helps farmers to reason their fertilization. And also we have the yield prediction service, which is named the Yield Edge, and of course other services that are related to disease management of crops, also the livestock management, and a marketplace to help cooperatives and smallholder farmers especially to commercialize what they are producing. And besides what we are doing as main activity at AgriEdge, we are also rolling out many initiatives since 3 or 4 years ago. So we are rolling out many initiatives in order to promote for the agri-tech sector in Morocco. So among those initiatives, we have the Filaha Innovation Program, which is an open innovation program where we are helping and supporting small and new startups that are active in the field of precision agriculture and agri-tech. We are helping them to develop their what they are serving as services, to develop those services and to commercialize those services and to commercialize those services into the market. Also, we have another initiative, which is the Caravan Agritech, which is like a mobile school lab where we are visiting many agricultural areas in Morocco, and we are gathering farmers, especially the smallholder farmers. We are gathering them, and we are doing some sessions to explain to them the agri-tech concept, the advantages of agri-tech, and also we are helping them to subscribe and to subscribe to our services. And another flag initiative that we are rolling out at AgriEdge, we have the Agri Analytics Days, which is currently we are launching its third edition. So the idea behind Agri Analytics Days, it's it's like a platform of experts where we are inviting each year experts from around the world, and we are inviting those experts to share with us their success stories, their case studies, in order to help, or in order to bridge between the worldwide experiences and the local Moroccan agriculture.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mohammed.
Mohammed.
And
And
that you
you
guys
guys
are
are
visiting
in
Israel as
Israel as
guest of honor
guest of
at the
honor
Agri
at the
Analytics
Analytics
this
this
May
May
in
in
June.
June.
So,
Shama, we're getting an echo
okay.
from your microphone. Yeah,
Can you hear me okay now? The second
much
you
better.
joined, Ben, it disappeared. I
You see
just
how it
needed
works.
my co-host.
This is how
This
peace works. The
synergy.
second we are together,
We need each
Israelis
other.
and
We need
Moroccans, peace and quiet happens.
everything works smoothly. So I just wanted to tell our audience that since Mohammed spoke about Agri Analytics Days, that you guys are organizing the next one for May, June 2022, and that the guest of honor this time is Israel, correct? And so we'll use this opportunity to call for startups, creatives, business leaders, and academics and experts to reach out to you guys at Agri Edge and reach out to Mohammed Hilmo and Faisal Sahbawi to join their platform. This should be really exciting and interesting. And I'm sure you guys will be able to build a lot of projects and initiatives together. And it's also going to happen at the UM6P campus, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful. So
Okay.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to this by the end of the presentation.
Okay, got it. Sounds good.
Okay, so let me just resume or summarize the activity of AgriEdge and the concept behind the services of AgriEdge. So the AgriEdge services are built around three pillars. So we have the first pillar, we have the data, which is the mine of information that we can get from new technologies such as satellites, drone images, and also from the other source of data like the sensors, the weather data, the field data, etc. And to in order to valorize those data, so we have the other two pillars uh, of AgriEdge, which are the artificial intelligence and the agronomic know-how, which are very important in order to valorize and to transform those data into insights that helps farmers to improve their operational management of farms on a daily basis. So and our mantra at AgriEdge is to transform data into nutrient. So data is the base of our services, and artificial intelligence and agronomic know-how is the way we transform those data into insights. So among our services at AgriEdge, so we have the N index. So the N refers to the nitrogen, and index is an index, a digital index. So we call this service that way because we build it with the aim to help farmers to manage their nitrogen fertilization, which is one of the most important fertilizers in the agricultural activity. So we help them through satellite images, through artificial intelligence, through the agronomic know-how. We allow them to and we support them to make good decisions about the use of nitrogen and about the nitrogen application in the field. So we advise the farmers with the right doses of nitrogen to apply to the field at the right place and at the right time. And by doing tests within farms, we've been able to reduce farmers' use of nitrogen by 21% and to help them improve their yield by 24%.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. That was really incredible. I just want to remind you we have maybe like a couple minutes left. So if you can also tell people where to find you, because I think a lot of people will be interested in talking about this presentation more at depth and about Agri Edge and really kind of evaluating how you can work together.
Okay. Yeah, as I said, Agri Edge is a business unit of Mohammed VI Polytechnic University. So we are based in Morocco, and we are available on social networks, LinkedIn, Facebook, and the other social networks, and also. I'm glad to share my contacts here in the chat with all of the attendees, and yeah, we are glad to work with them. And just to highlight about the Agri Analytics Days before closing my talk. So about Agri Analytics Days, as I said, so it's the idea behind it's a platform where we are inviting experts to share with us their success stories, their case studies. So far, we've organized two editions, and in each edition, we have a country of honor. The first edition was, as a country of honor, was Ethiopia. While in the second edition, we had Brazil as a country of honor. And as shared by you, so the third edition is as a country of honor we have Israel. And in order, as a preparation for this third edition, so we organized a bridging event with the Israeli agri-tech ecosystem through an event that have been live on November 23rd, with the title The Agri-Tech Innovation Bridge for Sustainable Agriculture. And today we are unveiling the third edition. And as a country of honor, we have the Israeli. And through this event, we are calling for sponsors, for contributors, for startups, for speakers from the Israeli agri-tech ecosystem for the third edition. And we are all available through AgriEdge at um6p.ma for any contribution.
Amazing. Well, you've heard Mohammed reach out to AgriEdge for partnerships. Thank you so much for joining us and for spending this time explaining what AgriEdge does and really some of the cutting edge technology that you're using to revolutionize the agricultural sector in Morocco.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mohammed. And I'm sure it's really these kind of areas of Shama and I are both very new to this world of agrotech, but it looks like, especially in these kind of areas, and since we have very similar climates, these are the areas, after listening to the various speakers tonight, where our two countries can find the most synergies and ways to cooperate together. And so it just makes me really hopeful about, where we can take the Israel-Morocco relationship now in this second year, and hopefully as travel begins to open up again, both for tourism, but also for business travel and for agricultural cooperation and academic cooperation. So the fantastic presentation. Thank you.
Absolutely. Both my father and my brother are engineers, and I had no idea all of this was happening in Morocco. So thank you. This was really a learning experience for me. If you also have learned something today, if you've enjoyed this event, or learn something new, please share it with your community. You can find this discussion or previous ones on Sharaka's YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to follow Sharaka and myself for all the updates, and don't hesitate to reach out if you have any specific questions or want to speak or recommend someone for a future talk. We are very inclusive. And our next event is going to focus on cultural synergies and arts between Israel and Morocco, which is my favorite topic.
I knew it would be.
Shocker. And will take place in the same place at the same time on January 27th. And we'll have another incredible panel of leaders in cultural and art spaces in both countries.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we remind you, of course, Sharaka is a nonpartisan, non-politically affiliated, and nonprofit organization trying to shape a new Middle East with strategic partners from across the region. If you like what you saw and you wish to help us expand our efforts, we invite you to contact us. You can find our contact info on the website, sharakango.com. You can email us at info@sharakango.com, or you can email me directly, dan@sharakango.com, or across all our social media platforms. We encourage you to follow us. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you're also following Shama for the amazing work she's doing, not just in collaboration with us, but she's got a lot of amazing projects going on. And for all of you who celebrated or just found out about the wonderful environmental holiday of Tu B'Shvat, we wish you a happy Tu B'Shvat holiday. Shama, I look forward to next week, where we will dive into culture and the arts in part the third deep dive of this ongoing series. And looking forward to seeing all of you here next time on these social media platforms. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us. Bye. See you next time.
Good night, everybody.